Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip. Today, guys, we got to talk about some reality here that nobody is really mentioning right now. Some facts that I shouldn't say facts, some ideas that nobody's really putting out there right now. We see a lot of excitement. You might even call it FOMO. And we think of bull markets here, and it's certainly moving upward, and you could argue we're in a bull market. I've said, this looks like a bull market, but we're coming out of a very brutal time for crypto, and we're starting to move up, and people are getting very excited, and for good reason. We have a spot Bitcoin ETF that's going to get approved. Or is it? Could it get rejected? This is something that I think we all kind of put at the wayside, oh no, it's going to get approved for sure. You have some people coming out and saying that, maybe it doesn't. And what happens if it doesn't? And why wouldn't the SEC approve it? Well, we already know that Gary Gensler's not a fan of crypto. He's said some positive things about Bitcoin, so maybe Bitcoin gets through. Recently, BlackRock came out and proposed a spot Ethereum ETF. Maybe that one doesn't get through. Maybe they all get through, who knows? But let's just talk about this new story that came up today and just explore it a little bit. And let's look at where we're at in the market, because we were hot and now we're cooling off and reality is setting in. For those people that are newer to crypto, that might have just thought we'd see Bitcoin all of a sudden explode out of nowhere. But we'll look at some key levels today, where we're at right now, and some big stories on the day. Good to have you all in the chat. I hope you guys enjoy these live streams with my pink walls, which are happening. It's still got some pink walls, guys, but eventually we will be able to get this full studio set up. Sometime next week, I have some of these supplies coming in, and Amazon actually needs me to verify my new address. So I got to call my bank. See, again, here's the banks. The banks, and why do I love crypto so much? The banks right now, I made an Amazon purchase for my studio, and I have to call my bank to say, hey, I moved. This is my purchase. They're trying to protect me, from credit card fraud. But at the same time, now I'm a day behind. 1 day less on my studio. I ordered it all yesterday, and here we are. Anyway, crypto guys, let's get in. Let's start talking about it. Welcome back. Welcome, everybody. Cryo, John, Shy Sox fan, good to see y'all in the chat. As always, we'll do a Q&A throughout this thing, but definitely at the end, we'll talk a little bit more. Let's get into the charts. So right now, the overall market is at 1.38 trillion. Actually, I'm going to refresh this page, make sure that's still accurate. Yep, 1.38 trillion. Bitcoin coming in at $36,400 on the day. Not a lot of movement in over the last 7 days. Now we are showing red. Very interesting, because just last week we were all green on this, and we looked at some of the gainers on the month and 100, 200% gains left and right. Yesterday, I did a video talking about some ICO that Black Sea and I bought. We're also talking about some lower cap gems recently, because if this market inflows and a bunch of money comes into this market, then there's going to be a lot of new projects that have 10, 20, 100 X's, and looking at this market, there's some coins that haven't yet exploded. Now, we recently saw all these were green. Now they're cooled off, and I'm kind of assessing the situation right now. What hasn't quite exploded yet? Well, you could argue that Binance hasn't had a very big move lately, but we do know that they are having some FUD, big time FUD. Solana has been crushing it, absolutely crushing. One of the only ones that's up in the last 7 days. Recently, Cathie Wood came out and started talking bullish things about Solana. I know a lot of institutions are still interested in Solana, even despite their tie to FTX, which is very, very interesting. Cardano arguably hasn't had a explosion yet. And again, I'm going to get into some of the stories here and talk about the ETFs in general in a second, and the possibility of a rejection. Could we see lower prices? Maybe. We got to talk about some of this. But in the meantime, I kind of want to talk about what has yet to explode. Cardano has yet to explode. You can see, looking at the last year, it really hasn't even broached its high for the year. Its high for the year was back in April. And so Cardano has some work to do. Bitcoin has already broken out, past its previous highs on the year, as you can see very, very clearly right here. Boom, it's higher, right? And there's other coins, guys, that just haven't broken out. Caspa obviously has done more than enough gains. It's breaking out to all-time highs every single day. still might want to get a position in that one. We'll see. Maybe I'm looking for a little retracement on that one. But Dogecoin arguably, has some work to do. Again, not at its highs for the year. Looking back to November of last year, it was higher in November of last year. And so Dogecoin still has some work to do. Maybe that one could be due for a little bit of a pump. Shiba Inu seems like it's falling in rank, which is very, very interesting. And arguably, Shiba Inu is also due for a pump. Its last high was back in February of this year. So looking at some of this, guys, I'm trying to run home the point. Bitcoin's broken out. XRP has done a pretty good job. It had a crazy spike on some news earlier, actually, right here in, what is this, July. We broke out, tried to get there and aren't quite there, but XRP's done pretty good. A lot of people are really bullish on that one, so maybe that one still has some catching up to do versus a Solana or a Bitcoin. Ethereum, arguably, this is one we've been talking about as well. Looking at the year, it has hit its high back in April, but Ethereum is supposed to be one of the top performing coins with Bitcoin in terms of just exploding before everything else, right? You want to see Ethereum outperform, dominance go up a little bit to kind of hint an altcoin rally, which is kind of what happened recently. When this happened, this spike happened just in the last month for Ethereum. This is when our altcoin rally came. Altcoins are kind of outperforming Ethereum, but at some point I do expect Ethereum's dominance in the market to climb up. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, to see Ethereum dominance hit 20%, 22% at some point in this bull cycle. That being said, it does have a lot of competition these days, like the likes of Solana and Cronos and Cardano. And so that's something we got to keep in mind. Fear and greed index is up at 71 today, and so people are still pretty greedy, which, tells you guys that there is a lot of hype going on right now. People are expecting kind of only good, and, a bull market's coming, and so there is a lot of good on the way. But in the meantime, can Bitcoin do this? Can Bitcoin have a rejection? Well, I'll tell you, there is one thing that very much so could give Bitcoin a rejection that maybe even brings it lower. I'm not talking about these levels, 19th. I'm not talking about any of those until we see some news that changes that. The only news that can bring us down here, in my mind, is a SEC decision to not approve the BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF. Because think about all the hype we've had recently, guys. Why is this move a thing right here? Why did that happen? The answer is because there was fake news about the SEC launching a spot Bitcoin ETF and approving it. And that was fake news. This is what got us here. If the SEC pulls that away, that is the thing that could bring us back down here again. And regardless of the SEC approving a spot Bitcoin ETF, that's not going to stop a bull market in my mind. But it could definitely postpone it just a little bit, and it could cause a little bit of a slip in the price action. Now, I don't think the SEC, let me be very clear, I don't think the SEC is going to reject the spot Bitcoin ETF, but it's a possibility. The rejection is possible, and nobody's talking about it. And on this channel, I like to talk about all possibilities. I like to take into account, I'm in sales. Maybe I get the deal. Maybe I don't, right? And that's a reality that I deal with every single day and every single deal and every situation. And that's the way I like to kind of, look at my investing, right? Maybe this does this. Maybe this doesn't. And that's the truth. And that's a truth that we all have to face and we all have to be open-minded to. Now, again, if the SEC doesn't approve the spot Bitcoin ETF, I'm still bullish on crypto because it's crypto. And crypto, honestly, we don't need an ETF. Is it better for crypto if we get an ETF? Arguably, yes, because institutions can then get involved very easily. We see banks bringing crypto custody into the picture. Right now, we see the overall market cap breaking out for crypto as well. Still trying to come out of the bear market blues, get back to the previous highs, but we have broken through some of our highs for the year, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, we're kind of bouncing off of a nice level, a very key level in my opinion, which is $1.33 trillion for crypto overall. Seems like we're trying to get a bounce off this level. You see 1 up, 2 bounce. Maybe we move up here and move back up to, 1.52 billion. Right now, we do see Solana still performing very well versus Bitcoin. XRP not performing as well versus Bitcoin. Ethereum is still waiting to break out versus the dollar for its high for the year. This is a reality that we're facing right now. Looking at Crocoin, trying to hang on and move past 10 cents again. As we're slowly trickling down, I expect us to hold this range. We're slipping down. Maybe we tap onto 7 cents again. I'd like us to hold this floor at 8.7 cents. If we don't, look out for 6.6 cents. That's going to be pretty key. We were in and out of that for a day or two there. We blew through the 8.7 cent level, bounced off it aggressively. So I do think that this is a key level that should hold. But if Bitcoin slips, so will Crow. Let's look at Crocoin versus Bitcoin, because right now it is still having some success versus Bitcoin, especially compared to Binance, which is barely hanging on to its valuation versus Bitcoin, as you can see right here. But Crow versus Bitcoin broke out pretty decently. Don't be surprised to see if we have a little bit of a pullback for Crow versus Bitcoin as Bitcoin's cooling off and altcoins are waiting for Bitcoin to make a decision. We could cool off versus Bitcoin for the altcoin market. Of course, if Ethereum explodes and breaks out of that triangle that we're looking at, then I would expect a bigger altcoin rally. And layer one competitors like Binance Smart Chain, like Cronos, could see some good gains because of that. Honestly, more bullish on Cronos than Binance these days because the negative press for Binance and the freshness of the Cronos chain. So be on the lookout for some of this, guys. Just want to share that with you today. And for XRP, for the XRP lovers out there, looking at what's going on, we try to break our high for the year again, but we're coming back down where to this trend line. Don't be surprised to see XRP hit, 50 cents, 53 cents again, 54 cents. Very, very likely. Probably a good time to buy bouncing off this line. Again, I expect to hold this level unless Bitcoin slips. If Bitcoin slips, maybe XRP and other coins can revisit some of these other lower levels. But I expect Crocoin to hold 8.7 cents. I expect XRP to hold 54 cents. And I don't expect Binance to continue to fall off a cliff. It's really held itself through this bear market pretty well. And if Binance breaks significantly below these levels, then there's a problem for Binance. But, I expect even if Bitcoin crashes, Binance to probably hold at about $200. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. But here's the story I want to share with you. Couple one, BlackRock files for a spot Ethereum ETF to further crypto push. This is an interesting story. I did a short on it yesterday. I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's pretty darn important. But then also, we didn't really see a rally on Ethereum because of this, which is very bizarre. And you see Belshi, a company here, saying that the SEC could reject ETF applications until exchanges and custody are separate. This is very interesting. This is a very interesting opinion that I haven't seen anything yet. Waiting until exchanges and custody are separate. So maybe not a permanent rejection, but BitGo CEO says it's quite likely the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will reject a series of spot Bitcoin ETF applications despite industry-wide optimism. And so here's your counter opinion, guys. And it's out there. And I'm not saying that it's a good opinion. Who knows who this BitGo CEO is and who cares about this guy? But at the same time, let's listen to all sides of the argument. He says there are a lot of risks in that entity, Coinbase, that are not understood. I think the SEC could quite likely come back and say, nope, you've got to separate out those things fully before we move forward. Several ETF analysts, have said that the chances of an ETF being approved in January are around 90%. The SEC rejected numerous applications over the years, citing concerns over potential market manipulation and lack of consumer protection. Vivek Ramaswamy, a GOP candidate for the presidential election here in the United States, wants to abolish the SEC completely because of these types of things. It's a possibility that the SEC rejects the spot Bitcoin ETF, guys. And it is interesting that we're saying there's a 90% chance. Why are we saying there's a 90% chance? Why have we been saying that? Everybody's been saying, we've been saying it, and I believe it because I don't see a world where the U.S. can miss out on approving this and miss out on the opportunity to be early to the Bitcoin party. And I think they miss out big time. But is it okay to say it's at a 90% chance? Not to get political here, okay? But you go back to what other things we said there's a 90% chance. Do you remember the presidential election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? There was a 90+% chance that Hillary Clinton was going to win. There was like a 99% chance or something in the media. Donald Trump won, to everybody's surprise. And so, not saying that's good, bad, whatever, that's not the point. The point is when somebody says it's a 90% likelihood, where'd you get that number? How can I trust you? You know, how can I trust that number? And so, what would that mean? If the spot Bitcoin ETF was rejected, it's just a buying opportunity, guys. That's the way that I see it. It's a buying opportunity that in the long run is good for you and me. If you're trying to accumulate some bags, guys, and you're trying to make some money, another retracement would be a good thing. Now, if the SEC did reject the spot Bitcoin ETF, which I think is very unlikely, look, we got a 90% chance that it's going to get approved. Then if it doesn't, then we could see some really low levels for Bitcoin. I don't know if that turns into a double bottom. I don't know if that turns into a 25K bounce, a 30K bounce. 30K is going to be a pretty strong level in my mind. I'd expect a 30K bounce because at the end of the day, what's the argument for the bulls for Bitcoin? It's the halving event. It's the implication of the technology. It's better than gold. It's bank with Bitcoin, don't bank with the banks, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of money, freedom. It's what it is. And so it's very important. So that's not, the end all be all, but it's something that I wanted to bring a video to you guys on today because I saw the article and you know what? It just made me question. Everything. And I think it's okay to question, guys. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm bullish on this asset class, guys. I think that crypto's set to explode. I look at this overall market cap and I say, hey, I expect crypto to break its previous all-time highs from here. That's 130% gains for the average token. And I expect crypto to, at some point, break $20 trillion. Maybe that's this bull market. Maybe it's next. Kathy Wood thinks in 2025, the crypto market's going to be at 25 trillion. Kathy Wood thinks that in 2030, crypto is going to be at 25 trillion. That is so many 100Xs. That's so many 20, 50 Xs on your coins, on your money. That's big price gains for Bitcoin. That's a $500,000 Bitcoin at least, in my opinion. That's just the math behind it. If Bitcoin remains at a 50% dominance in the market. How you guys doing out there? How's everybody doing today? Looking at everybody in the chat. Everybody's getting along. Cryogenic says, oh, come on, man. €1 per withdrawal. How many times in a year do people withdraw? Me, once in a year. Get over it, people. So what you're talking about in the chat, Cryo's talking about the new controversy for the Crypto.com team in Singapore is sending out emails to the users informing them that there is now a $1 or $2 withdrawal fee. And people are complaining. Now, if you have enough money to take profit, I'm going to hope you're not taking... I don't know who out there is like depositing $50, turning it into $100 and then like withdrawing it. I mean, maybe that's all some of you out there can afford, and I get it, and I'm not poking at you, but most people in crypto are investing a couple $100 at least, usually a couple thousand, some people several thousand. A lot of people that are in crypto are big time in crypto. And so a €1 to €2 fee, in my mind, isn't a big deal. It's not a big deal. Some other exchanges in different countries do this. Some don't. I also understand that on the Crypto.com app, the buying and trading, there's not a great spread per se. You're not getting the best purchase price. And sometimes, for example, I bought ordinals. I bought $5,000 worth of ordinals on the Crypto.com exchange. At the time of the purchase, it was instantly valued at $4,860. So in other words, I invested in ordinals and started off, $140 in the hole. That's not so great, but that's why we need Crypto.com to launch the Crypto.com exchange. is really on the Cronos chain. Now, I bought ordinals. Which doesn't have a lot of volume through the Crypto.com exchange. All right, so that's part of the reason that the spread, Bitcoin, you're going to get a more true price. Ethereum, you're going to get a more true price. Smaller cap coins like tectonic, like ordinals, if you're buying these, okay, these things, you're not going to get as good of a spread on the Crypto.com app. But when the Crypto.com exchange comes out with the order book, it'll be better. Now, I'm not worried about the withdrawal fees. People are freaking out over there. People freak out all the time. Is it great they want to charge people? No, but also they're trying to maintain, the bottom line. They're trying to get layoffs. They maintain their marketing partnerships. Where else can they make it up? And that's what they chose to do. 1 to 2 euros is nothing to me. And if it's something to you, and I hope you guys make a bunch of money so that 1 to 2 euros isn't a big deal. It shouldn't be, but, it certainly is today. G says we got a fee in Canada as well. We withdraw fiat, something I've never done since I got into crypto anyway. There you go. Cryo, you're welcome. Thank you for the point. I appreciate it. What else we got going on, guys? What else is happening out there? What are you guys looking at today? What's going on the charts that you're seeing, or what's the word on the street? Let's look at some of the big gainers on the day just because it's fun. Looking at the last 7 days. Celestia is doing a good job. Don't know what that project is. Let's peek at it for fun. Why not? It's ranked number 57. I have no idea what this project is. Let's see what exchanges it's on. Let's just have some fun here. Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin. Some big exchanges, obviously. Binance and Coinbase, that's pretty huge. Kraken's pretty darn big. KuCoin, obviously. Bitfinex, BitThumb, these are all the big ones. Gate.io, Bybit. There you go. There's Crypto.com right there. Bitrue, maxi, Femex. It's on all. And by the way, we do have a sign-up link for Femex in the description down below. We have a lot of people signing up for Femex right now because people are getting ready to trade, and this is a really great platform for trading. It's a leverage trading platform, but you don't have to leverage trade on there. Leverage trading can be a great tool for accumulating wealth, but it's also extremely risky, guys. So take advantage of the sign-up bonus if you haven't done so already and you're interested in a new platform, and you're interested in learning about leverage trading. But if you're new to leverage trading, please, guys, maybe don't do it. Or maybe if you're going to do it with very low leverage. If you are going to try to start off very low amounts of money, very low leverage, none of this is financial advice, but I don't want to see you guys get wrecked. It's a great tool, but it can be dangerous. Free money there for you, though, if you do want to sign up. What is the Celestia? Let's look at this. Let's go to the About. It is a first modular blockchain network that enables anyone to easily deploy their own blockchain with minimal overhead. It scales by rethinking blockchain architecture from the ground up. It's a minimal blockchain that decouples execution from consensus by introducing a new primitive data availability sampling. Since Celestia does not impose any execution or settlement constraints, developers are free to define their own execution and settlement environments. This unlocks new, unrealized possibilities for builders and developers. Very interesting. It's a departure from the status quo of monolithic blockchains. Monolithic blockchains face scaling difficulties because they perform all core functions of a blockchain, such as processing transactions, ensuring that transactions are correct, and getting in network nodes to agree on both the validity and ordering of transactions. Modular blockchains introduce the notion of decoupling consensus from the execution of transactions, thus achieving greater scalability without loss of security or decentralization. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. I mean, that's a in-depth description. This almost has $1 billion market cap. It's certainly seeing some volume. I'm going to peek at the website. I'm just looking at altcoins because I don't see a lot of questions right now. And let's talk about some new coins. I mean, I'm hunting for new coins, guys, and I might as well do it with you guys here on the stream. I think that's a lot of fun, and you can kind of learn how I do my research. The first modular blockchain network. Celestia is modular. Okay, we read through some of this. Looking at the website. The website looks very nice. Explore the ecosystem. Run a light mode, join the first modular data availability network in as little as 2 clicks. So they're trying to make this easy. Very, very interesting. Let's look at join the community. All right, this is always something that I like to do. Let's look at what's going on X. How many followers do they have? 205K followers. We were looking at another project last night, and I'm going to follow them. That's what you do, guys. You see a project that you're remotely interested in or you're looking into, well, let's see what kind of updates they did. October 31st was when they launch their mainnet. Maybe that's the reason that this thing's having an absolute, this is definitely one of the reasons this thing's having. So there you go. Why, now you want to know, why did this coin rally? Well, let's look at this. Look at the last month. Boom. Here you go. November 23rd, November 10th, 11th. Here you go. Here's your news. Boom. And then we had like 1 week go by and all of a sudden it absolutely exploded. On last year, it is breaching all-time highs. And so here you go. This thing launched. When did this thing come out? I mean, this thing looks like, I guess it launched, according to CoinMarketCap, on Halloween. Kind of interesting, guys. Kind of interesting. If it launched on Halloween, let's see how long they've had their Twitter up. They've had their Twitter there since September 2019, so they must have been building for a while. Very, very interesting, guys. This is just what I do. And, you know, how much interaction are they getting? How much are people actually interested in this? 21K views, only 142 likes, you know. Okay, what kind of interaction do they have going? Very, very interesting. Let's see this one, too. I like to kind of do this. I'm going to take this URL, and I'm going to go to Twitter. Twitter, what was it? Twitter numbers.io. I forget what it was. Twitter analysis. I forget what it was. There's a way to kind of look at the different things on Twitter to see how many people are following these guys. I totally forget what it was. But you can see like who are the big organizations following this. You know, what kind of VC firms are following this. That's something that's important to look at. I'll check that out. I'll pull that up for you guys another time because I think it's a great tool that you need to be looking at. But this is kind of the way that I peek at some of this. Another thing you want to do is check out some more about who's involved. What is Celestia? Does show me the team? I want to know who the team is, and that's what I kind of want to see. Going to GitHub. Here's the team. Let's look at the team. All right, there you go. So Mustafa, he's got a PhD in blockchain scaling at UCL. Seems pretty decent. I didn't know you could get a PhD in blockchain scaling. That's pretty cool. Look at some of these guys. Actually, let's just start with this. We'll start with the CEO, and this is as deep as you go. You know, you want to look at all this, guys. And so, I'm not trying to sign in. A shop assistant at Sense helped sort and tag clothes. Oh, that was volunteer experience. So there you go. That's the CEO. Sorting and tagging clothes. I don't want to log in because I don't want to dox myself. But I would look at this and I'd see what his experience is. I'm not going to, destroy him on this. This doesn't look very promising. But then again, this is back at August. Oh, it's 2013. Give the man a break. Okay. But we could see some of the other companies here if I were to log in. I'm not going to do it. Maybe I should create a Crypto Kip LinkedIn. But check that out if you guys are looking at projects. And so I'm going to look at that on my own time. That's kind of how I look at some of these projects, though. But, you know, just at a technical analysis level, hard to do that at this point. It's too new. It is breaking out, and so price discovery mode is something. This could continue to rally, or this thing could absolutely dump. Too early for me to be investing in something like that, to be honest with you guys, but it's always fun to check it out. You're in finance. I know there's some fans of You're in Finance out there in the chat. This thing has actually rallied big time over the last month. Look at this thing. Went all the way from 5,000. Wow, it tripled in the last month. Absolutely incredible. Or not tripled, but, well, yeah, about tripled. I don't know why it's not showing me that. More than tripled. Very, very interesting to see that. There's a lot of coins that are moving up right now, guys, and that's where we're at. We are getting ready for an explosion in this crypto market, and I'm hunting for altcoins, guys. What else we got? Crypto Burger says, make crypto institutions great again. The BlackRock BTC ETF will pump its price 10x and block the average retail investor from ever being a proverbial Bitcoin whole coiner. Let's see how it goes. I hope that people are able to become a whole coiner before this bull market, but it's definitely going to become harder to become a whole coiner as time goes on, folks. definitely going to increasingly get more difficult. All right, let's do a little Q&A, guys. Let's do a little Q&A. Wow. Yeah, life's crazy right now. I am trying to get organized in this house. A lot of stuff going on with work. The holidays are coming up, but I'm getting ready for this crypto market, guys. It's definitely heating up, and as you can see, I'm getting more and more serious about looking at altcoins. Crypto is getting more political attention across the globe more now than ever, says IMKZRU2. Couldn't agree more, which is why you see, again, U.S. politicians, presidential candidates, you see two. One now is an independent, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., talking about Bitcoin in a big way. You have Vivek Ramaswamy talking about Bitcoin in a big way. You have Donald Trump, who owns a lot of Ethereum, launched his own Ethereum NFTs as well, which is very, very interesting to see. I hope you guys, again, welcome everybody. If you haven't seen my pink walls yet, we're working on it. It's definitely a work in progress. Yeah, crypto is getting more political. I don't like to see that, but at the same time, it's just kind of the way she goes. It's just kind of the way she goes, and you need regulation, and regulation comes from politicians, and so never fortunate, but, you know, that gives more attention to this asset class, and that's really going to help us boost these prices up in the end. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you in this one. I am Crypto Kip. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thanks for joining us today. Looks like everybody's, enjoying their Friday already, and we got more videos coming at you as always, guys. If you want to become a member on the channel, make sure you check it out in the link in the description down below. If you are on our live streams, sometimes you never know. If you're hanging out in the live stream, you could get gifted a membership. What comes with that is a couple things. One, you get access to our private Discord where you get to talk with everybody that is already a member in the Crypto Report community, and myself and Black Sea. And every single month, we are going to be doing a $500 a month giveaway to one lucky member when we hit 100 members on the channel, and we're currently only at 20 members. And so when we get there, we'll make that announcement, and we will make sure that we keep giving back to the community, guys. Buju believes that the walls are salmon. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe. Cryo's got a great question. Okay, go ahead. I'll take your question, Cryo, before I get out of here. I just no questions today, so I'm gonna jet unless people have questions. But go ahead. Yeah, I love the Q&A part of these streams. This is definitely my favorite part. I really enjoyed it. It looks like everybody's kind of busy today, though. But I did have the coffee. We had the coffee. We have an espresso machine now, which is actually very, very nice. How about the DC? What do you mean about the DC? Tell me about the DC. Are you talking about Washington, DC? They're talking about crypto in DC, I'll tell you that. Yeah, guys. He's typing a question. I'm going to give him a chance, folks, because Cryo's been watching the channel quite a bit. A big supporter of the channel. By the way, I like your profile pic, Cryo. Appreciate it. I do like it. I'm trying to figure out what Danny Boy said in the chat. He said, Sats track goosenals. I don't know what that means. Maybe you're talking about some BRC20 tokens. I am bullish on BRC20 for the record, guys. If you are not looking at Bitcoin's crypto coins that it's launched, there are coins being built on Bitcoin's network. There are NFTs being built on Bitcoin's network. Those could be big. We'll see. John Frederick asks, any news on the ETF? Well, at this point, no, not really, John. It's just today's video was about, speculating on that the ETF isn't approved. Because there's really a world where that could happen. We know that Gary Gensler's a schmuck, There's a world where maybe he doesn't approve the ETF. I don't know. Shy Sox fan says, I sold my ordi, got 20 plus, got plus $20, and I'm happy. Now he's saying, Shy Sox fan for life is also saying, I think I will hop back into ordi before the halving. I'm going to sit tight on ordi. I'm going to hold that ordi for a while. I'm definitely going to be holding on to that ordi for a bit. I think that ordi is going to do well. Personally, Crypto Cryo, I'm still waiting on your question, brother. Because I got a jet. I got a little bit more work to do to wrap up the day. Just DM me, man. Just DM me. I'll get you. I appreciate you. All right, guys, that's all I got on this one. I'm Crypto Kip. This is a Crypto Report. Don't forget to smash up the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more content. And as always, folks, you got to remember to DCA, HODL, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll keep working on these salmon walls. We'll get them. We'll get them. I'll see you next time, folks. Peace.